Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is March 5th, 2023, and we are in the Old Testament. We are in the book of Exodus. We're reading from chapter 8, verse 20 to 9:12 today. All right, Exodus is the story of Moses leading the people out of Egypt. And we've seen that Moses and Aaron have gone before Pharaoh. They've unleashed 3 plagues. They did not change Pharaoh's mind. Pharaoh says, nope, still not going to do it. In this reading, we're going to get plagues 4, 5, and 6. Some things to keep in mind. Well, one of the things I said yesterday, we saw at the start of this that Moses was really reluctant to go. In fact, he asked God to send somebody else. And it seemed like God kind of relented and said, all right, I'll send Aaron with you. But we see that, you know what, that isn't really what God wanted. God wanted Moses to lead. And as we're moving along, Moses is taking more and more of a role. And Aaron is kind of fading back into the background. So God got what he wanted. He got Moses to be the leader here. We saw in the first 2 plagues that right after Moses and Aaron unleashed the plague, Pharaoh called his magicians, his sorcerers, wise men, whatever you want to call them, and they came and they could duplicate the feast. Now they didn't do it miraculously. They did it through trickery and sorcery. It was a counterfeit version of it. And I said yesterday, rather than make more water in the blood and make more frogs, it would have been better if they could have gotten rid of them, but they couldn't do that because they weren't that powerful. They could only master little magic tricks. When they got to the 3rd one, they couldn't do it at all. They don't even try here in these ones. It's way beyond anything they can do. We also see, starting with this 4th plague, that now they're going to start separating out that, you know what, these plagues are only going to happen to the Egyptians. When you look over at the Israelites, nothing's going to be going on over there. So God is going to start showing them that, hey, you know what, this is me, and I can protect them, and I can unleash this on you. So you better think about what you're going to do next, Mr. Pharaoh. And unfortunately for Pharaoh and the Egyptians, he hardens his heart, and Pharaoh says, nope, I ain't going to do it. So let's go ahead and we're going to read chapter 8, verse 20 to 9:12 today. And the Lord said to Moses, rise early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh as he comes out on the water. Then say to him, thus says the Lord, let my people go, that they may serve me. Or else, if you will not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies on you and your servants, on your people, and into your houses. The houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground on which they stand. And in that day I will set apart the land of Goshen, to which my people dwell, and no swarms of flies shall be there, in order that you may know that I am the Lord in the midst of the land. I will make a difference between my people and your people. Tomorrow this sign shall be. And the Lord did so. Thick swarms of flies came into the house of Pharaoh and into his servants' houses and into all the land of Egypt. The land was corrupted because of the swarms of flies. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron and said, go, sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, it is not right to do so, for we would be sacrificing the abomination of the Egyptians. We would be sacrificing the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. If we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, then will they not stone us? We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he will command us. So Pharaoh said, I will let you go that you may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness, only you shall not go very far away. Intercede for me. Then Moses said, indeed, I am going out from you, and I will entreat the Lord, that the swarms of flies may depart tomorrow from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. But let Pharaoh not deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. So Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord, and the Lord did according to the word of Moses. He removed the swarms of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. Not one remained, but Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also. Neither would he let the people go. Then the Lord said to Moses, go into Pharaoh and tell him, thus says the Lord God of the Hebrews, let my people go, that they may serve me. For if you refuse to let them go and still hold them, behold, the hand of the Lord will be on your cattle in the field, on the horses, on the donkeys, on the camels, on the oxen, and on the sheep, a very severe pestilence. And the Lord will make a difference between the livestock of Israel and the livestock of Egypt. So nothing shall die of all that belongs to the children of Israel. Then the Lord appointed a set time, saying, tomorrow the Lord will do this thing in the land. So the Lord did this thing on the next day, and all the livestock of Egypt died. But of the livestock of the children of Israel, not one died. Then Pharaoh sent, and indeed not even one of the livestock of the Israelites was dead. But the heart of Pharaoh became hard, and he did not let the people go. So the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Take for yourselves handfuls of ashes from the furnace, and let Moses scatter it towards the heaven in the sight of Pharaoh. And it will become the dust in all the land of Egypt, and it will cause boils that break out in sores on man and beast throughout all the land of Egypt." Then they took ashes from the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses scattered them toward heaven, and they caused boils that break out in sores on man and beast. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, for the boils were on the magicians and on all the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he did not heed them, just as the Lord had spoken to Moses. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.